Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to tackle something huge that's happening in the world of applied behavior analysis. We're talking about crucial new research and some big new standards that are coming down the pike. So if you're an RBT, a BCBA, or even thinking about getting into the field, you're going to want to stick around for this.
All right, let's just jump right in with this quote from the Behavior Analyst Certification Board. And let's be clear, this isn't some minor issue. We're talking about the #1 ethical violation they see. This one sentence really sets the stage for why the quality of supervision has become such a massive focus for the entire ABA field.
So that really begs the question, right? Demand for ABA is growing like crazy, which is great, but how do we make sure the quality of supervision, at the very foundation of good practice, keeps up? Let's see what the research is telling us.
To figure this out, researchers went on a mission. They dug into 40 different articles to get the real story on BCBA supervision. They basically wanted to know, what do we know for sure, based on science, and where are the gaps in our knowledge? And what they found is pretty eye-opening. Get this, half of all the literature out there is just people talking about it. Discussion articles, expert opinions. Only a tiny slice, just 1/4, are actual intervention studies that test what works. Think about that. For every single study that tests a supervision method, there are 3 more just theorizing about it.
So what does that all mean? Well, it means there's this huge gap between what we think is good practice and what's actually been proven experimentally to work. And closing that gap, well, that's exactly what's behind all the big changes we're about to get into.
Okay, so to tackle that quality challenge head-on, the BACB is rolling out some pretty significant new requirements for RBTs, and they're all kicking in come 2026.
All right, you're going to want to pay close attention to this timeline because these dates are non-negotiable. The big one to circle on your calendar is December 31st, 2025. That's it. That's the final day. Try to submit an application with an old training certificate after that. It's not going to fly. Because on January 1st, 2026, we're in a whole new ballgame.
So what's really changing under the hood? Well, for starters, that 40-hour training is getting a complete makeover. They're calling it RBT 2.0. The exam, it's being updated to a new outline. And recertification is shifting to a 2-year cycle, and this is key. It now requires 12 hours of professional development. Oh, and one more huge thing that ties right back to that research. The people doing the training now have to be a certified BCBA or BCBA, no exceptions.
So, you might be asking, why all this focus on credentials for supervisors? Is it just more red tape? Absolutely not. And the data? Well, the data tells a really clear and powerful story.
Okay, this right here, this is the number that should make everyone stop and take notice. A study found that when a client's case was supervised by someone with a BCBA certification, their progress skyrocketed. We're talking a 73.7% greater mastery of learning objectives per hour. That is just a massive, massive difference.
And if that number wasn't enough, this chart lays it out so you can't miss it. Just look at the difference. It's not a small bump, it's a huge leap. This is the proof, right here, that a supervisor's credential isn't just a piece of paper. It directly translates into better, faster results for clients.
And that is the why. That's the whole reason behind these new standards from the BACB. It's not an arbitrary rule change. It's a decision based on hard evidence. The data shows that qualified supervision is one of the most powerful tools we have to really improve treatment effectiveness.
Okay, so we've covered the what and the why. We know what's changing and the data behind it. Now, let's switch gears and get super practical. How can you get ready for all this and really thrive in this new landscape?
All right, let's break it down into 3 simple steps you can take, like right now. First, if you're just starting out, do yourself a favor, enroll in a 2026 compliant RBT 2.0 course from day 1. Don't even mess with the old stuff. Second, if you're already an RBT, it's time to start planning for that new 2-year cycle and figuring out how you'll get those 12 professional development units. And third, for all the organizations and trainers out there, now is the time to do a full system check. Make sure every single part of your program is aligned with the new 2026 rules.
And to help you out with that first step, here's a little cheat sheet. This table gives you a quick look at some of the training providers out there. You can kind of see how things stack up, You've got the cost on one side and the reported first-time pass rate for the RBT exam on the other. It's all about finding the right balance for you.
And what about those new professional development requirements?
Well, getting ahead of the game is smart. A great way to knock out those PDUs is by hitting up some of the major ABA conferences. Here are just a few of the big ones on the calendar for 2026 to get you thinking.
So that brings us to our final thought for you. When you look at all these changes, all this new research, it's about so much more than just following new rules. It's really an invitation, an opportunity to sharpen your skills, to get even better results for your clients, and to grow as a professional in a field that's always pushing forward. So the real question is, how will you evolve?